Morning. It's day 6. We woke up in Austin today, which is a good thing on many levels. But today's a pretty light day. We're going to run down and grab some breakfast. We think there's a hot bar, which sounds super exciting. And Victoria's going to go work out in the gym, and we're just going to kind of maybe wander around a little bit. But tonight we've got a really interesting event. One of the first serial killers in the country was here about 30 years ago. And we're going to go on a murder tour, and they're going to discuss all the things. So we're going to do that tonight. That's our goal for the night. Not a big day, but probably an interesting day. All right, well, let's go see what breakfast looks like.
Yeah.
It's saying finish me already. Orange, marmalade, vanilla, something or other, turnover. Delicious.
What'd you get?
This is chile, something.
All right, well, we'll come back to you.
Oh.
I decided I wanted a little sweet today, so I got pancakes, cheese grits, biscuits, and bacon. All right, what you get?
I still don't know.
You got a menu right here?
You got a menu right there.
Quiche chilaquiles, eggs, queso fresco, tomato, salsa verde, green, and corn tortilla chips. Good?
Mm-hmm.
Delicious pancakes. The grits are very interesting. They're very coarsely ground and very flavorful. Not my normal grits for sure, but very, very good. Of course, bacon, I mean. Delicious. The biscuit is amazing. Okay, I'm gonna go eat. See you in a bit. All right, we're heading the elevator. We're headed out to dinner. We don't know where. We're gonna go over to 6th Street and find a place to eat.
We're going to just check. So many options.
Many options. At Micheletta's Cafe and Cantina. Let's see what we can find here to eat. What'd you get?
a spicy mule. So it's vodka, ginger beer, and some jalapeno infused simple syrup. And I just want to point out the seeds. Can you see the floating jalapeno seeds? It's really delicious. It's not too much.
Is it spicy?
It is, but not too much.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yummy.
What did you get?
I got shrimp fajitas, so these are my little tortillas and my accoutrement, and I'm enjoying my delicious spicy mule.
I got chicken nachos. Simple and delicious. We wanted to stop at a place where we could have a little bit of conversation because the music was so loud there. We just got done at Micheladas.
Oh, you know what? I didn't really take stock of what the place was called.
And so the food was good, not great. It was good, and it was but it was expensive.
Your food was not great. I would have to say my shrimp fajitas were really good.
Victoria's shrimp fajitas were really good, and that's good because they were pretty pricey. My nachos were okay. They were good. I will tell you the grilled chicken was excellent. That was on top of it. So it was expensive. Was it worth the price? Maybe.
I think part of the thing, are we going to talk about the atmosphere?
Yeah.
Okay. So quite a bit of street traffic. Street traffic that involved probably the emotionally unwell. And probably eating on a rooftop kind of patio situation might have been preferable, but we had no way of knowing that, and whatever.
Yeah. So the open eating was out on the front sidewalk, and right across the street was an alley that was clearly a central location for some folks who were in need of
unfortunate beings
of some social assistance. Okay, so we're going to hang out here in the nice cool breeze up here on the pool deck at the Wax Myrtles at the hotel. I'll give you a quick look around because it is quite a spectacular view.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I was here this morning after breakfast, and it was just perfect weather, perfect just to kind of relax and do a little skimming through emails and whatnot, under these. If you haven't already gotten a shot of those, just how deep those.
I did already.
Okay, yeah, they're amazing.
So we're going to hang out outside just to enjoy the atmosphere, and then we're going to go pick up our stuff, and Victoria's going to change, and we're going to catch an Uber to go to the murder tour.
I'm very excited.
Okay, so we are at the corner of 6th Street and Bowie. And we're going to meet up with a group here, a tour group. And the tour guide is going to take us on a tour of a serial killer.
My favorite.
And this serial killer stalked the streets of Austin about 3 years before the Ripper in Whitechapel in London. And over the course of a year, killed 7 or 8 people. And we're going to go on a tour and talk about that tonight. And so, yeah, that's our mission for the evening. I'm going to record some things, and I don't know how much of the tour itself they'll let me record, but I will put my own little history sort of information, kind of like I did when we went to London and did the Whitechapel tour. I'll include some history here so that you have context. So if I'm taking a picture of like a bush or something, it'll mean something.
And I believe there is a book that I have read about this person, so maybe I'll have something to say, or maybe I will have forgotten it all. I read it a while ago.
The person was coined by O. Henry as the servant girl annihilator. He was the only one who called them that, but that is one name.
I believe the book I read is called The Midnight Assassin.
The Midnight Assassin was another name of them as well. So we're going to go on the tour, and we will share what we can with you, and I don't know, maybe we'll learn something together. All right, here we go.
So hello and welcome to walking tours of Austin. My name is Dalen. I'm going to be your guide tonight. So just one little disclaimer before we begin. There's no easy way to say this, but here on the murder tour, we do talk about murder.
So near the end of 1884, Austin was terrorized by a brutal killer who pulled sleeping servant girls from their beds, raped, and killed them with an axe. Although there were a number of suspects, no one was ever officially brought to justice. So tonight, we're going to go on a guided tour of Austin and experience the story firsthand. Now, the tour did not proceed to the events as they occurred on the timeline. It covered events as they developed along a linear route through town, but we're going to cover the events in order as we discuss them. So the tour starts at the corner of 6th Street in Bowie. This is the location of the first attack. Older maps show this as Pecan Street. This is the residence of W.K. Hall, and it is 1 block west of Shoal Creek. So the first recorded victim was Molly Smith, aged 25. She was found laid out in the snow next to the outhouse behind her employer's home. With a gaping hole in her head, Smith had also been stabbed in the chest, abdomen, legs, and arms, creating such a large pool of blood. She appeared to be almost floating in it. During the investigations, bloody clothes were found discarded by nearby Shoal Creek, right at this spot in the video. The second victim was Eliza Shelley, and she was murdered the night of 6 May 1885. Now, she was discovered by her young children on the floor of the room where they had been sleeping, her head nearly cloven in two by an axe. The third victim, on the 22nd of May 1885, was Irene Cross. She was murdered by a man with a knife. And a reporter who spoke with the dying woman said she looked as if she had been scalped. About halfway through the tour, we stopped at the Hotel Driscoll. It's a lovely building, apparently one of the most haunted in Texas. We get to stop in for a drink and to get off our feet for just a minute before we continue with the second half of the tour. Are you enjoying yourself?
I am. It's very interesting.
Very interesting. But a lot of walking in between the stories, which is fine. Getting out in a group at night is super cool, as you can see from a lot of the imagery here. So yeah, we're getting a great story and interesting stuff. The fourth victim, attributed to the Midnight Assassin, is 11-year-old Mary Ramey. She was murdered on the night of the 30th of August, 1885, and her mother, Rebecca Ramey, was seriously wounded. Her mother was knocked unconscious while she slept, and her 11-year-old daughter was dragged to a backyard wash house, stabbed through the ear with an iron rod, and raped. On the tour, we were told that Mary Ramey was an extraordinarily intelligent child who would have expected to have grown up to become quite a refined woman had she been given the chance. The next victims are Gracie Vance and her boyfriend, Orange Washington. They were murdered on the night of the 28th of September, 1885, as they were sleeping in a shanty behind the house where Gracie's boss lived. The attacker hit Washington on the skull with an axe, then carried Vance to a stable on the property where she was later found dead, her head almost beaten into jelly. It was at this point where the attacker stopped killing African American servant girls and changed his approach. This is often noted as the time when the focus of Austin law enforcement and tactics changed towards finding the culprit, because now he was attacking wealthy, refined white women. The next victim was Susan Hancock. She was murdered on December 24th, 1885. She was described by one reporter as one of the most refined ladies in Austin. And she was discovered by her husband in their backyard, almost exactly where the Four Seasons Hotel is today, with her head split open by an axe and a sharp, thin object lodged in her brain. Notice now we're starting to see a pattern with things like ice picks and pointy metal objects being inserted into the brain. On the same night, Eula Phillips was murdered about an hour after Susan Hancock. She was found dead in the wealthiest neighborhood in the city, near where the Austin Public Library stands today. Her nude body was in an unlit alley behind her father-in-law's home, where she had been living with her husband. Her skull had been bashed in by an axe.
This case did go entirely unsolved. It was considered a pretty shameful part of Austin's history, of Texas history, so people just kind of stopped talking about it. It became buried underneath all the other things happening in American history around this time. But it is things to skip. He uncovered all these newspaper reports, witness reports, police reports. Essentially, he uncovers the servant girl murders case. And it really is thanks to him that we know a lot of what we do about it today. He wrote a very excellent book over the topic titled The Midnight Assassin, which I, of course, do recommend if you're looking for some really in-depth supplementary reading. But in the meantime, in a way, he has kind of imparted all that knowledge onto me. And tonight, I have imparted it all onto you guys. And with that, that does officially conclude our tour tonight. But I know it's not